On New Year's Eve, 1989, 300 tons of French copper did the one thing science said was impossible. It walked. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what does it actually take to turn a 305-foot hollow monument into a weapon of pure optimism? We've all seen the giant crown flickering through the Manhattan skyline, but the logistics behind this 5-minute stroll are actually more terrifying than the ghosts they were trying to fight. How do you keep a metal goddess from snapping in half the moment she takes a step? And more importantly, what was the real cost of using New York's biggest icon as a puppet? Stay with me, because the math behind this miracle is crazier than the magic. It all started with a bathtub and a lot of bad vibes. To get the statue moving, the Ghostbusters didn't just need power. They needed a literal physical manifestation of good vibes. This is Psychomagnotheric Slime, a substance that reacts to human emotion. But think about the scale here. We aren't talking about a mood ring. To coat the internal structure of a 150-foot pedestal and the entire copper skin, they needed thousands of gallons of positively charred goo. But here's the catch. The slime reacts to human emotion. So, how do you sync the feelings of millions of angry New Yorkers to a single rhythmic beat? You'd think a feat of engineering this massive would require a NASA-grade cockpit, right? Wrong. Ray, Egon, and Winston decided the best way to pilot a national treasure was an NES Advantage controller. But ask yourself, how does a joystick designed for Duck Hunt translate to complex hydraulics of a walking titan? They weren't just playing a game. They were mapping digital inputs to supernatural kinetic energy. One wrong thumb slip, and Lady Liberty doesn't wave. She collapses into the Hudson River, taking half of Liberty Island with her. How did they manage to stabilize 300 tons of swaying metal with hardware meant for an 8-bit console? The moment her foot hit the water, the physics should have ended the movie right there. The Statue of Liberty isn't a solid statue. She's a thin copper skin, hanging on an iron skeleton designed by Gustav Eiffel. She's built to withstand wind, not the rhythmic impact of 450,000 pounds hitting the pavement. Every step she took through the streets of Manhattan was a miracle of structural integrity. Why didn't the torch hand snap off? Why didn't her crown shatter against the skyscrapers? The secret wasn't in the copper, it was in the music. This is why the choice of Higher and Higher by Jackie Wilson wasn't just a soundtrack choice. It was a structural necessity. The Ghostbusters realized that for the slime to hold the statue together, the positive vibes had to be constant and rhythmic. The music acted as a heartbeat, a frequency